full-time MMA?
MMA.
Nothing
Yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to subscribe if you're new and hook your boy up with a like if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, because you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Can somebody please explain this phenomena to me? Can somebody explain how Alexander Gustafsson, everybody I know knows Alexander Gustafsson. Everybody I know appreciates Alexander Gustafsson. And he's also got a pretty, Alexander Gustafsson, people know the deal with him. He's easily one of the top 5 light heavyweights in the world. It's not even close, and he's probably top 3. Besides John Jones and Daniel Cormier, who's really fucking with Alexander Gustafsson? I mean, we haven't seen him versus Volkan, which, I want to see that. God damn, that would be such a good fight. Volkan Ozdemir versus Alexander Gustafsson. Fuck. But that's not what's happening. The fans chose Volkan Ozdemir, and that's what I want explained. I don't get it. I mean, I know he's coming off of 2 knockouts, but you're going to tell me if I were to have a you know what? I'm going to do that. I swear to God. So when you look up right about now, you're going to see a little exclamation mark. I want to know who you guys want to see Daniel Cormier fight next. Alexander Gustafsson or Volkan Ozdemir. Now, I like Volkan Ozdemir. That's a fresh matchup, and he's been doing crazy things to top light heavyweights. We just seen Daniel Cormier get knocked out. We've been seeing Volkan Ozdemir knock dudes out. So he's definitely got the potential to go in here and scramble Daniel Cormier's eggs. But Alexander Gustafsson, to me, seemed like the more logical. He was the #1 contender already. If John Jones had the title, it was definitely Alexander Gustafsson. We didn't even hear an inkling of John Jones versus Volkan Ozdemir. I just now thought about that. I never even thought about that. It was going to be either John Jones, Brock Lesnar, or John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson. But since Daniel Cormier got the title back after John Jones popped for steroids, it's like, okay, so who are you fighting, Gustafsson or Ozdemir? He said he did a fan, and he said it was his idea to do the fan vote, which is interesting. But this is why. He said his fights with Anthony Rumble Johnson did great business. His fights with John Jones did great business. His fight with Anderson Silva did great business. But whenever he fought Volkan Ozdemir, it's no secret, the fans didn't tune in. Daniel Cormier is saying that the fans don't pay to watch Alexander Gustafsson. And he said he's got a cult following, so it's hard to understand why. And that's part of the phenomena I don't understand. You know Alexander Gustafsson. I know Alexander Gustafsson. We know Alexander Gustafsson don't fuck around. But if I were buying a pay-per-view, God, bro, I'm kind of feeling that Volkan Ozdemir factor. Like, ooh, he's got that fresh matchup. He motherfucking come in here, might lay a nigga down. Like, let's go Volkan. And Gustafsson, I guess you kind of get that feeling of, man, we've been here. This is going to be a grind. This is going to be a hard fight, dog fight. But that's the thing, bro. These people say they don't like boring-ass wrestling matches. They like brawls and dog. I mean, it's not going to technically, be a brawl, but Alexander Gustafsson versus Daniel Cormier is going to be a motherfucking dog fight. But I guess people don't want to see Daniel Cormier picking him up and slamming him and trying to control him or what the fuck ever. I don't know, man. If it were up to me, I want to see Daniel Cormier versus Alexander Gustafsson, but I also wanted to see John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. I'm just pretty high on Alexander Gustafsson. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm too high on Alexander Gustafsson. I don't know. I'm a huge fan, and I like his fights. But it's just surprising to me that the general public, if they were given a vote, would pick Volkan Ozdemir over Alexander Gustafsson, and he's only had 3 fights in the UFC, Volkan Ozdemir. And he knocked out Jimmy Manuwa and he knocked out Misha Serkinov, but it's not like neither one of those guys just had these huge fan followings. Like me, Alexander Gustafsson's always been bigger than both of those guys. As far as more notable and who he is, he's more experienced in the UFC. So that's what that is, man. I'm going to put that vote on here, the very first thing. So with that being said, it is what it is. Daniel Cormier is coming out and he's explaining why Volkan Ozdemir is getting the next title shot and why Alexander Gustafsson is not. He said, well, I thought about it. I mean, and see, this is the thing. He said it was his idea to... Daniel Cormier said it was his idea to do the fan voting. It's like, nigga, I don't even know if I can really, like, just... I mean, I believe it, but it's like, I don't know what made him come to that thought. Like, man, I kind of... Like, because to me, it was kind of like, all right, Alexander Gustafsson's getting the next title shot. It wasn't too... I mean, and if it wasn't Alexander Gustafsson, it was going to be Alexander Gustafsson versus Volkan Ozdemir to see who gets the next title shot. There was really no scenario in my head where I seen Alexander Gustafsson getting skipped by Volkan Ozdemir. But Daniel Cormier said, you know what, I thought about it. I knew my numbers with Alexander. Me and Alexander Gustafsson, when we fight, we don't sell that many pay-per-views. But this is the thing. It depends on if how stacked the card is, right? You and Alexander Gustafsson don't have no super rivalry like you and Jones or you and Rumble. And also, like you said with the Silva fight, this card was stacked. You can't tell me if Daniel Cormier and Alexander Gustafsson aren't on somebody else's card or their own card, but stack it, 2 title fights, big names on it, like 216. You got 2 title fights and Fabricio and Derek Lewis. Let's go. I'm just saying, yeah, if you just throw Daniel Cormier on the top of a card with Alexander Gustafsson with no other title fights, like some UFC 206 shit, Anthony Pettis, Max Holloway for an interim title, and the rest of the card is like, I mean, I still love that card. It was a great card, but still, it's not going to do great business. But I'm still a little curious on maybe Volkan Ozdemir is just getting that fucking, you know, he isn't a heavyweight, but he's a light heavyweight. So, you know, he's got that big, you know, them bigger dudes, they're more marketable because people are like, oh shit, I want to see that knockout. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe people are in love with Volkan Ozdemir's knockouts. But I'm telling you right now, we pulled the microwave in here and I said, hey, who have you heard of? Have you ever heard of Volkan Ozdemir? Just say it like that, because I don't want to lead him with the question. He'd probably say no. And then if you say, have you ever heard of Alexander Gustafsson? He'd probably say yes. So I don't know how that comes about, who's voting on Daniel. I wonder if Daniel Cormier made like 150 fake accounts. I'm just fucking around. Or Daniel Cormier went to like a local fucking double cheeseburger joint or a pizza joint and was like, hey everybody, fucking pizza and drinks on me if everybody to my fucking Twitter right now and votes for Volkan. He posted the vote and he went and started campaigning for Volkan. No, I'm just fucking around, but that would be hilarious. It is what it is, man. I'm gonna try and get a few videos out today before UFC 216. Let's fucking get it. Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee. And also Demetrius Johnson versus Ray Borg. I had to think for a second. I was like, wait, Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee? Is that the main event? But yeah, it is, bitch. You get the point. It is what it is. Let the haters know what the fuck you talking about in the comments. It's the weekend. You got no work. Let's get it! What do you call somebody that refuses to fart in public? A private tutor.
Bye, Felicia.